Hi.
I've been told by folks that have done dog food and cat food and even fish food a little bit moistened to try to add some weight to some of these really emaciated animals. A little bit of protein is a very good thing.
Right, I was just going to say
And you can see, like you said, he is doing a lot better. You can see in his hips that he still is a little thin. You can see his bones here. And again, the pits in his skull that you mentioned. Aside from that, he's got a great attitude. He's got a great appetite. It's all about making the animal feel comfortable. Again, the cage I have in my house is about, gosh, 6 or 7 feet tall. And he climbs up to the top of the branches, and he's looking at me eye to eye. Like Tom mentioned earlier with the little fella, they like to be up. They feel a little more comfortable when they're up, when you're on the same level as you. As you can see, he's an active guy. He's about ready to take off right now.
It's all good.
Let's get to him before he gets off on you here. They do have very sharp claws, especially at this size. You can trim them a lot like you do a cat's claw or a dog's claw. You want to take off just the very end, just the very quick of the claw.
Awesome, awesome animal here. I'll tell you, they've evolved a lot. They get around humans. They do very well with humans.
Absolutely.
I find some owners are remarkable owners. I find some owners that do the wrong things. I mean, everything wrong. Somehow end up with a monster. And it's like, I had one guy that didn't do any of the right lights and stuff like that. You know, temperature is a very important thing with a cold-blooded animal. And really, a lot of folks let them free roam the house. That doesn't do well for them unless they have a place to bask and catch the heat. But I've seen people still grow them out remarkable size, you know, with getting the extra cat food and dog food that they were stealing, because, of course, someone who lets them roam the house generally isn't letting them do the right thing unless you got that space. And then I got other keepers that got like a whole room. And that's the way to go. You know, an animal like this would be just awesome in a room. You know, they're from El Salvador, from the jungle or something. And really,
absolutely. High heat, high humidity.
Oh, yeah, plenty of space to run. You know, it's like, so an area like that, they must just feel so trapped in no matter what in size enclosure we can provide for them. But, you know, really, that's the biggest thing. You got to think about the size. You looked at that little guy 10 minutes ago, and it's like, what, was he the size of maybe part of his tail? It's like as they grow, they can do tremendous, you know, and it's like, really, it's a big responsibility to have an animal like this.
Well, and although we don't have a true age on Squash, of course, because he was a rescue, like you mentioned, at this size, an iguana can reach this size in about 5 years. So you're going to go from a very small animal to, as you can see, something that's going to need a very large cage, a lot of care, a lot of time, and a lot of cost at some point. The lights are expensive. The food, again, on a daily basis is an expensive thing. They are low-maintenance pets, though. It's easier to care for than, say, a dog or even a cat. They're very rewarding. They're a lot of fun. And, again, you need to do a little bit of research. You need to go online, go to your local bookstore, local library, read up on iguanas. Try to find something that's current.
Oh, yeah.
At my library, they've got a lot of publications that were published in the late 70s about iguana care. Obviously, that's changed a lot in the last 30 years, so try to find something a little more recent. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of misinformation out there. You'll talk to people at pet stores, and they'll tell you to buy a heat rock and this kind of food and feed him lettuce, and he'll be fine. And the people will give it all the effort in the world. They think they're doing the right thing, they're asking for advice, they're following those directions, and unfortunately, it can still be detrimental to the animal's health. So just as much information as you can absorb, always a good idea with an exotic pet like this.
Yeah, we went over foods, we went over a lot of, you know, their size differences and stuff. I want to go back to the lights, though, now, because lights are a necessity for these guys. They really get a lot of vitamin D out of the lights and stuff, you know. a cheap way to get past it, and I guess I'm doing plugs for some of the companies that are getting lucky here. So when you guys want to endorse, just remember where you got it from. Anyway, Zilla makes a daylight bulb, which is a cheap bulb, but it works, kind of. It gives a little bit of stuff off, but this is something that most stores say, hey, this will work. On the real, this is just a quick heat bulb with a little bit of illuminating light. And it's an incandescent, you know, it doesn't really push off any of the rays and ultraviolets like we're looking for.
Right, like some of the fluorescent tubes do and whatnot,
right.
Absolutely.
And you can use this as an awesome source of heat. And you use the whatchamacallit, the fluorescent bulb, sorry I stuttered there. The daylight bulb's a good source of heat. Again, you could double up and do the fluorescent bulb as well. The tube light bulb, that'll give you UVV light. A lot of people use like the Zoom Ed 5.0 or 10.0s. But personally, you know, one of my favorites would be a good item if you can afford it. And in most places, again, T-Rex is now getting a plug, it looks like. And I'm probably shadowing myself. This right here is actually a T-Rex 100 watt UV heat bulb. This is a mercury vapor bulb, so really this is optimum for heat and light. This will give them the vitamin D they need. Some of these lights can last a long time. Average price on a light like this, about 65 to 100 and, well, whatever, depending on the store. And that's what it is. Really, it enhances their color, it enhances their size, it helps them grow, it makes them healthy. I mean, it's a necessity. This is something a lot of stores don't stress to you, and the reason they don't is because they can get you on all the money for all the other supplies, but nobody wants to pop off that $100 bulb.
Right,
It's
absolutely.
Like, and really, that's the way to go, and you should go that way. You know, they get vitamins out of a whole lot of other things too, besides their food. There are foods that they do have supplement-type foods, and here's a couple of them you see in front of me. You know, we got a Fluker's brand, and we got a Zilla brand. One's a juvenile, one's a adult container. These are generally mixed with a little bit of water, and then basically they expand, kind of like, you know, absorption for the water, and then all the vitamins and minerals and proteins and stuff they really need, they claim are truly in here. Some folks start their animals off small with these, and they actually...
I've had good luck with these prepared diets before, actually.
And yeah, some people have. Personally, myself, I find fresh food's the way to go. So if you want to use it like a crouton, use it like a crouton. Put it on top, colorful up.
Absolutely.
It'll give them extra minerals and vitamins. Some animals honestly pick the stuff out, and I've seen it, or eat around it. And another thing they eat around too, which is a necessity, is their calcium. You know, and there's major issues with this. If you don't give them enough calcium and stuff, they'll start growing bone problems and issues, joint problems. Your animal won't be able to walk, won't be able to stand erect anymore. He'll kind of slope down. You might notice different things like the jaw start to bevel, and I've got one behind me that I'm going to show you a little bit later that actually has a calcium deficiency. That was another rescue that came in. I'll kind of tell you that story when I pull that one out. But there's all kinds of great sources of calcium. You can get it in these containers. You know, all different brands are made. One by, T-Rex here, one made by Zoom Ed. Again, great companies. You know, do the research, though. Find out which one's better for your guy, because they're all a little bit different. Everybody thinks they're the expert. But I find with more work that I do each day that no one is truly an expert, because every day can be a learning experience, no matter what animal you deal with. Even if you've dealt with 100 of the same, all of them are different. You know, a lot of folks always say to me, you know, newcomers, does he bite? Does he bite? Every animal can bite you, you know, it's like, so they want to hear it doesn't bite, and of course I tell them right away, every animal can bite, so first
Even
caution.
the little iguana that you had out earlier.
Oh yeah, he was a biter when I first got him. I'm surprised I didn't get bit today,
bleed,
you know? But he was cooperating. I guess he likes the limelight and stuff, but what I'm going to end up doing is, I'm going to let you take Squash and put him back in a different enclosure. We might even just put him behind us, and what we'll do is, we're going to pull that other iguana out. Me and you will talk about some calcium deficiencies with the iguanas.
Sounds great, Tom.